Tea Time with Theresa. It's Monday night, 8 o'clock. It's March 2nd. Usually I talk about my weekend. I really didn't do too much this weekend. Really, it was a quiet weekend for me, which normally isn't like that, but I was happy about it. Just really relaxed and did whatever I wanted to do, which was nice. I had nowhere to be, nowhere to run to. It was quiet, something different. But listen, before I get started and introduce my guest, I just want to make a couple of announcements. One is next Monday, I will not be here. It's March 9th, and I'm going to be at Dangerfields with MLMAO. March 20th, the Italian Chicks are going to be in Bourbon Street in Bayside. June 6th, we're at the Union County Performing Arts Center. And June 12th, at my father's place. And April 4th, we're at the Hack Pack Center in Jersey. So just wanted to get that out of the way. And I want to introduce my guest, Fran Capo.
Hey, how are you? How are you?
How you doing, my love?
I'm doing very good.
I'm so glad to see you.
Well, thank you. I drove out here,
I know.
just to be with you.
It's such a schlep.
I'm telling you, it's like a 3-hour drive, folks. And I said, I got to be with Theresa. So I drove out.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Hello, Ann, my sister-in-law from Ohio. Hello, Greg DiFilippo. Hello, Pauline. Hi, everyone watching and listening. I appreciate you guys tuning in. The love is just so overwhelming. Like Strong Island TV, share the show. Fran is here. Fran, for anyone who doesn't know Fran Capo, how can you not know Fran Capo? Fran holds the Guinness Book of World Record for the fastest female. She's also an actress.
Talker.
That's
a whole other record.
Oh, right. We gotta clarify that.
Fastest female talker.
An actress, author, comedian. She's got a one-woman show. She's an 8-time. She holds the record. 8-time.
Not just for that. I mean, I have 8 different world records.
8 different world records. But you broke the record by saying 642
words a minute. 11 words a second is what I was clocked at.
11 words a second.
The first time I broke it to 585, then I rebroke it at the Guinness Museum in Vegas doing 603.32 words a minute.
Pay attention, she's talking fast.
The show's over. Okay,
So you do a lot of stuff. I'm going to read this list and pay attention. She's an ordained minister.
Yes.
Which I am too. I married a friend of mine.
Yeah, it's fun to do that, right?
Lisa
and then
Mole.
tell them, and then you say to them, no, it's not real. No, go. And they're like, what?
You're a consultant, you're a spokesperson, motivational speaker, producer, and adventurer who has...
Scuba dive with sharks, flown combat aircraft.
You've eaten fire.
Yes.
You've bungee jumped.
Yes.
You've climbed Kilimanjaro.
And did a book signing up there, yes.
You went down to the Titanic.
Only 108 people in the world have gone down to the wreck side of the Titanic. I was one of them.
You've appeared on over 450 TV shows, over 4,500 radio shows, including Dr. Oz, Larry King, radio host of Fran's World, CBS Live It Up, an adventure correspondent. You perform in a one-woman show called Love, Laughter, and Light. And you have entertained our troops.
Yes, on all over the world, actually.
All over the continents. And you are presently working on a film.
Yes, called Sensei and the Goldman, which is the prequel to the film we did, which was Father and Father, which won 22 awards, which was pretty cool.
And you're training for a trek
to Vietnam.
Yes. After this, I need a vacation. I didn't even do all this.
That's it. You need a cigarette and you got to lay back.
Oh, Madonna me. So listen, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What haven't you done?
I haven't done Vietnam yet. This is the thing. My mother taught me that nothing is impossible.
Amen.
So I always have the feeling that if I see somebody do something, I'm like, well, if they could run a marathon, I could run a marathon. If they could write a book, I could write a book. So then I wrote 22 books.
Right.
Because I don't like to stop at one. And so everything, I'm like, if an opportunity comes up, which is what I talk about in my TEDx talk. I did my first TEDx talk. I'm very happy about it. Called How a World Record Mindset Can Help You Accomplish Anything. And I love that.
Because you and I are all about
and just
positivity and then just jumping in and holding our breath.
Because none of the world records that I did in prior did I say, oh, I'm going to break the world record for that. An opportunity came up and I took it. And I took it because I have the philosophy of just say yes and figure it out later.
That's what I do.
So when I do it, I'm like, okay, I've now said I'm going to do it. What do I have to do to accomplish this?
Right.
And the thing is, a lot of times people are so scared. Well, what if I do it and I fail? You know what? There's a Japanese saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8. As long as you get up one more time, then you fall down, you're good.
Right. No, it's true. I mean, unless you really put yourself out there and try something, you don't know what can happen.
And the thing is, even like before I climbed Kilimanjaro, I didn't have in my head, oh, I'm going to go climb Kilimanjaro next year. The opportunity came up. And I'll tell the stories whenever you want me to, but the opportunity came up and I just took it. And also because I have the philosophy of, no such word as can't. So like people, I can't do it. I'm like, no, it's not that you can't. It's that you won't.
Right,
you don't want to put
exactly.
the energy or the effort or it's too hard. I can't leave him. Yeah, you can leave him. If the guy's a schmuck, you can leave him. You should leave him. But I can't. I love him. Oh, yeah, please. So the whole point of everything that I teach, because I do motivational speaking and counseling and consulting and one-on-one coaching, it's teaching people how to get from where they are to where they want to go.
Right, where they want to be.
Yeah, because it's nice where you are, but you want to move.
Well, I think a lot of people get comfortable in their lives sometimes, and they're afraid to be a little uncomfortable.
Well, what I always say is life is filled with many tempting parking spots. And
I like that analogy.
So you're on your journey and go, ooh, that looks really nice. I think I'll stay there for a while. And it's free parking. I'm just going to stay here.
Right.
And then you just never finish the journey. But I just feel like life is like a buffet table. And so you have all these great things. And it's like, oh, I'll try a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Oh, I heard that one, can make you choke. All right, I'll skip over that one.
Right,
but you do the ones that you feel that'll benefit you.
Right.
And there's so many places and things that you can do.
Right.
And I just don't understand why people stop themselves. That's really what happens.
So you're training. You're training for Vietnam
now.
Tell my listeners and watchers what does that mean?
Okay. I never thought I would actually say this sentence.
And how this opportunity came up because
up until last November, of 2019, I held 6 world records. Now I hold 8 world records.
That's amazing.
So the way that it happened, which is actually kind of funny, again, with how everything comes out in life. You know how Facebook says, 8 years ago you did this?
Your memory.
Right? Yeah, your memory thing?
Yeah.
Thank God they have the memories because you don't always remember everything.
I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. So, excuse me, a memory came up. We had pizza before. A memory came up where it said you and Nick Halleck and George Karunas all had done this conference together. And Nick is the one that I met when I went down to the Titanic. And George, I met tornado chasing. So I said to Nick,
Wait. You met him how?
Tornado chasing.
Tornado chasing.
Well, actually, I met Nick.
You watch those crazy people on TV who chase tornadoes.
Oh no, but George actually is one of the people, along with this other guy, Cloud Nine. They have this thing where they actually take a group of people to chase tornadoes. And so you get in a car and you start in Oklahoma, like the tornado capital of the world.
Yeah, tornado belt.
Yeah,
belt.
And you honestly they have a map inside the car
and
that
it lights
shows
up,
you,
right, where
and
they
it
are.
shows you where the tornadoes are. The only thing you have to make sure is when you're chasing it that there's an out route, because if all of a sudden the tornado turns around and starts chasing you can't just try to outrun it. You have to be able to go off the side. So you chase it, and then sometimes we were in the middle of the eye of the tornado where there would be frozen balls, like balls of hail, the size of a golf ball. And of course, I had never been in a storm like that, so I was like, "Can I go outside and feel it?" They go, "You want to go outside and feel it?" So there's a video
in the head.
Exactly. There's a video of me going, "I'm out here, and then I'm like, "Okay, this probably wasn't the smartest move." And so, but I'm like, "This is the size of the things I'm going inside now."
The size of that ball!
Exactly. Look at these balls. Yeah, they hit me on the head. And so that's where I met George. So I send this to Nick, and I go, "Hey Nick, remember when we did this conference together, for Carson?" And so he goes, "Fran, I'm going to Nicaragua, and we're going to zip line inside an active volcano, the Messiah volcano."
And you said, okay.
Well, actually, my husband was there because it was early in the morning. And so Nick goes there, and I go, "Steve, look what I can do." And he goes, "Why are we married?"
Does he have a lot of health insurance?
This is what he always says. He goes, "Every time you tell me something, I got to raise the life insurance policy." And he'll do things with me, like we're doing a Harley run with my friend Tom Renner. We're going to do it from Portland, Oregon, down to San Francisco in July. He'll do things like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to climbing Kilimanjaro, any of these, he's like, Have a good time. I'll see you. Bring a friend. And that's it, you know. But so I tell Nick, and then I was there, and then Nick, and so Steve says to me.
So she zip-lined over an active volcano.
Now,
okay.
I became the first woman in the history of the world.
This is the one that's being walked across.
Yes, by Nick Walinda.
Yes.
So when you see on TV that Nick is walking across.
On that 1 inch.
Yeah, balancing himself, above the lava.
You zip-lined.
I zip-lined there.
Did your tushy feel warmer going across
No,
that
you don't
thing?
go exactly over it because, the thing would, you're over it, but to the side of it. You're not,
so you're on an angle.
Yeah, because if you were right over it, what happens is National Geographic had went down to the Messiah volcano prior to us going down,
Yeah.
And this was like a year ago, however long ago, I don't know the exact timing, but even the wires and cables that it was there, because whenever the volcanoes, erupt and everything, or even when it rains, because of the sulfur and everything, there's acid rain.
Yes.
And so it corrodes everything. Mm-hmm. So even the ropes that we were going down and the cables that we were going down, they had to check it every day because, it could be corroded. At night, there's no toilet out there, and it's raining, and you're like, I don't want to go out in the bathroom in the acid rain, so you have to hold it and then wait and then run out and go pee outside the tent and come back in. It's just very rough. This is not.
Wow.
So anyway, what happens is I tell
But
Steve.
this is nothing compared to what you have to train for
Vietnam.
Now.
So what happens is me and Nick do it. I go down first. I'm the first woman. I went with my friend Barbara because Steve goes, my husband, he goes, bring a friend. And he said, I don't want you to go unless you bring a friend. So he thought that I wouldn't get a friend. So I called up my friend Barbara. I'm like, so Barbara, what are you doing in November? And she's like, why? And I go, well, like before Thanksgiving, And she's like, why? I go, come on, this opportunity of a lifetime. She's a police officer. She goes, I'll go. So Steve comes back from his trip.
You need that one crazy friend.
I have two. Actually, I have three crazy friends like that.
Right.
I'm lucky. Each one does a different type of adventure with me.
Yeah.
So now, Nick says to me, not Nick Walinda, the one going over the tightrope, Nick, the one that told me about this trip and the one that I met at the Titanic.
Right. Yeah.
So Nick says, Fran, now we could trek inside the world's largest cave in Vietnam. It's called Son Dong Hong. You have to trek 12 miles.
Wait. What's it called?
Son Dong Hong.
Son Dong Hong is the largest cave in Vietnam.
No, in the world.
In the world.
So large.
That you could fit a
747 inside of
it.
A 747, the huge ones.
Yeah.
And it has its own ecosystem in there. So it's actually, you could see clouds at the top. In the cave. There are monkeys in the cave. There are bats in the cave. There's a jungle in the cave. So you have to trek to get to the cave.
This is what she's training for, people.
This is what I'm training for
Listen
every
to this.
day.
Listen to this.
Okay, so to train every day, I have to put a 15 pound knapsack on my back that could fit the helmet, and there are porters with us that will carry the rest of our stuff because they have to carry 4 days supply of food and water with us.
Right.
Because you can't drink the water,
No.
But of course I brought extra things like those straws that filter out the water. And so they told us, you have to trek through the village 12 miles to the cave. But it's not just a regular trek. You have to be able to climb up 6 flights of stairs without getting winded, with a knapsack on your back, 15 pounds. Wow. You have to be able to climb over a wall waist high, and I'm like, who's waist? I'm a shorty,
really. I know, we're vertically challenged.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll be over there, like, not the tall person's waist. And then you have to go through rivers, several rivers, that with the water is thigh high, okay? Then you have to be able to, so they monitor you till you get to the cave. And if you get to the cave and you're winded, they will not allow you in the cave.
Wow.
Because then you sleep in the cave for 4 days, but you're not just staying there and just looking around. You stay there, then everybody wraps up the tent and you walk, because the cave, I think it's 3 miles, 3 or 6 miles, I'm not sure. But you have to walk to the end of the cave, and at the end of the cave, there's an 80-degree angle wall called the Vietnam Wall with a rope hanging that you have to be able to pull yourself up that rope.
Wait, I gotta laugh. I gotta take a moment and laugh. Well, while I'm laughing, let's hear from our sponsors, and I'll contain myself when we get back. Today's show is brought to you in part by Tavolo Kitchen and Pizza, located at 1919 Wantaw Avenue in Wantaw. Hey, there's something for every night of the week. Tuesdays, pasta night, wine Wednesdays, Friday, live music from 7 to 10, Sunday brunch. So check them out at 516-308-4892 or www.tavolokitchen.com. They're also on Instagram. They do catering and private parties. So where do you want to go tonight?
Are you bored?
Oh my God!
Hold on tight. We're gonna coast this.
Well, it's been about a half an hour, and I'm dangling up in the air. They're doing whatever they're doing up there, getting more kerosene or whatever. I'm very comfortable, except for whatever is tight around my neck, and I think it's my helmet leaning back. But whatever, it's a nice view. And how often can you say you're stopping in the middle between up and down? What goes up must go down. I could hear the guys talking in the background on the ground by the volcanoes. Well, I definitely could say I have a bird's eye view. At least the vultures are gone. They were circling around above, and I was like, do I look like... Oh, I said they were gone. Now they're actually fighting. I hope they're not fighting over whose meal I'm going to be. You heard them, right? Yeah. You wanted an adventure, Capo. You got it.
Okay. Holy cannoli! Did you see that?
Because
oh my God! Wait. All right, wait. I just want to say hello, Marianne Maizano. I want to say hello to Ralph Bracco. Hello, John Zaresta.
John!
How are you? Girl.
What's funny was when they bring
how long ago was that? How long ago?
This was in November.
Wow.
And I broke the record for being the first girl ziplining inside it. But the funny thing was, on the way up, I hear them say, the handle broke. And I went, ooh, that's not good.
I don't want to hear anything
and
broke.
So then they're going like this, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Because they go, you're not panicked. And I'm thinking, what's to panic? What can you do? Then 20 vultures start circling me. I'm like going, yeah, this is like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Oh, my God.
So so that was a little clip from that. They actually physically had, 6 people had to manually bring me up because the kerosene ran out and the handle broke. So.
All right, so now you're training for Vietnam.
Right.
And you're going when? You
May
said
12th.
May.
Hopefully with, the whole coronavirus that I'll still be able to go.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that's a big thing now.
Yeah.
May 12th. All right, so I did ask you before, is there something that you haven't done that you really want to do?
Well, okay.
I mean, you've done
so many
much.
things. Bungee cord jumps, scuba dive with sharks, flown combat aircraft, driven race cars, eaten,
How many
walked
people
in
could say
Hong
they
Kong.
went down to the Titanic?
That's only 108 people
Let me
in the
tell you
world.
something. That's special.
Yeah, that really was. That out of everything I've done so far, I'd say that climbing, Titanic, Kili, and the volcano were the three top things.
Yeah.
In that order, because like I said, and nobody can go down to the Titanic anymore. It's a very funny story, but there's so many things, and probably the hour's over already.
I know. There's so much to get to. But is there anything really that is like in the back of your mind that I think I want to try that?
There's what was a lot of times like this thing with Vietnam. I didn't know that that cave even existed.
Right.
So when things come up, I just get like this gut in my stomach going, I'm going to do that. I'm going to train to do that. And then of course, now I have to do my fitness app, make sure I'm eating right, And the last thing I want to do is they tell me I'm not going in that cave after I trek 12 miles. I'm going to have to smack somebody. I'm not going to be happy again. But to answer your question, there is the hydrothermal vents, which we always think that everything in life is sustained with solar energy, right?
Yes, yeah.
But there's actually, at the bottom of the ocean, on the hydrothermal vents, which are all over the world, it's sustained with, now I'm forgetting the word, it's like chemo energy, it's heat.
Right.
Okay? And they thought nothing could sustain itself at that level of heat. And it's a thriving albino, sea life down there.
Yeah.
So the same submersible that took me down to the Titanic, which is the Mir 1 and 2, the Russian submersibles.
How many people could actually fit in that? Is it three?
Only three.
Three,
Only
right?
3 people can fit in that.
Yeah.
And so the same submersible that takes it down was the one that also takes you to the hydrothermal vents. However, we're not really getting along with Russia right now.
No.
The chances of me going down there.
I would love to do, like, if I had the opportunity, but I'm extremely claustrophobic.
Oh, no, that's one of the, okay.
I don't know if I'd be able to go down to the Titanic, no matter how badly I'd want to go down there, in that little 3-person seater thing, and it's like an egg. It's like an egg. You're in an egg.
It's 7 feet inside the submersible. Okay, so I actually tell this story. I just did a TEDx talk. And the TEDx talk is called How a World Record Mindset Can Help You Accomplish Anything, which is what we had said before. Now, the thing is, I tell the story of how I broke the world record, how I climbed Kili, and how I got down to the Titanic using the mindsets that I did to be able to get me down there.
Right.
Because there's no rescue line that could come get you when you're down at the Titanic. If you're down there and you're stuck, guess what? Oh, well, you signed a release form, you're gone.
Yeah.
And so part of that, it's only 7.5 feet inside the submersible. And when I went down,
I'm getting nervous.
it was me, the Russian pilot, the same guy that you see in the movie The Titanic,
right.
The guy Anatoly Salgovich, the one that designed the mirrors, and this Japanese woman. And it's the three of us. It was like the United Nations going down there. And the Japanese woman, she kept saying, I need to take more picture. I need to take more picture. And the Russian guy kept going, you took 1,000 pictures of the bow. We need to move on. And she's like, I'm not happy. And I only 80% happy. I'm like, how you 80% happy?
Oh my God.
So she goes, I have idea. We go to back up, take picture whole ship. He goes, no one ever take picture whole ship. It's too big.
Right.
She goes, no. We go to backup. He goes, I have a better idea. Next time I put you outside submarine. She goes, okay. I go, he wants to kill you. Do you understand? He wants to kill you.
That's funny.
But yeah, and it's just like I have all these crazy stories, even about the time I get held up. In my one-woman show, Love, Laughter, and Light,
yes,
I actually have combined my stand-up comedy with my motivational speaking, with my stories of wild adventures, everything from being held up at gunpoint and smacking the guy who had the gun. I literally smacked the guy who had the gun. And he said, are you crazy? I have a gun to your stomach. I'm like, no need to be rude. And afterwards I'm thinking, what did I do? But I talk about...
Because you're in the moment. Sometimes you're in the moment.
Yeah. And I don't want to spoil the story and tell it because I actually have my shows coming up. But Love, Laughter, and Light has been playing in in different venues around.
You've done about 10 shows,
I've done about 10 shows so far. I just started doing
Laughter, and Light.
Love, Laughter, and Light. And this is actually, this, I don't know if the camera can see. Yeah. These are some of my crazy adventures that I've done here.
That is so cool.
So you see me here, and I know we have a picture. You have actually a picture of me, the Titanic, eating fire on that's Dr. Oz show. Me breaking the world record fast talking, having knives thrown at us at the wedding because my minister was the world's fastest and most accurate knife thrower, so you got to make your wedding exciting, But I
don't even think I could put a snake around my neck. I don't even think I could do that.
Oh, no. But snakes actually feel cool. People think that they're, look, they're not going to start choking you. You hold the snake, he does anything, throw him off you. And I'll just say, listen, I try to be nice to you. And you throw him off.
And what's this that you have
And that is actually, when I went down to the Titanic,
yes,
on every inch of the submersible, because you're inside,
we're
right?
showing pictures
of the Titanic, there is 7 tons of pressure on every inch of the submersible. So what we did, a friend of mine who's a scientist, my friend Vivian, said, take a 12-ounce cup, a styrofoam cup, and put it in the basket outside the mirror. And when you do that, the pressure of the ocean, I don't know if you could see a close-up of this now, if we get off the picture there.
Yeah.
The close-up of the picture of this is, so the cup was bigger than this.
Right, and
the pressure shrunk it down to this size.
Wow, that is so wild. It looks like a little shot glass.
Exactly, and it maintained the form because it's evenly being pressurized.
Right,
all around it. So actually, I gave my sponsors, that picture that you have up now is actually me with the lava behind me.
Wow.
And you see those little black things on that stone behind me?
Yeah.
Those are Pele hairs. And what it is when a volcano erupts, the streams from the volcano that shoot up in the air are boiling hot, but when it hits the air, all of a sudden the air is cold, and those long, thin streams break and shatter into like pieces of glass.
Wow.
That stuff there gets into your skin. It's like little shards of glass all over the place. You have to be really careful, especially when you're going to the bathroom and you put your hand on a rock and you're like, oh, great.
That's
so
not good.
that picture is actually me doing a book signing at the top of Kilimanjaro, because I figured if I was going to be up there, why not sign a book?
Oh my God.
And people got to the top. I go, what are you doing? Buy a book.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So that was the picture of me at the Titanic, and this is me now. So I do my TEDx talk.
Yes.
And again, if people want to see it, it's, the world record mindset. So I do my TEDx talk, and 2 weeks before, because a lot of training to go. You have to be nominated. You have to come up with the title. Then you have to write the script out. Then you have to do video, then another script, then another video, then another script video 3 times. Have taken an 11-hour class. It's like this whole thing for the TEDx talk. So a couple of weeks before, the producer goes, oh, so you think you could do something special on stage? I go, what, as if the TEDx talk isn't enough? What do you need me to do? She goes, well, you think you could break a world record on the stage?
Really?
So I'm like, what? So she says, yeah. So I do the full talk.
Right.
And then I said, okay, I'm going to attempt to do the entire talk again in under 1 minute. And what you had seen up there before was I did the entire talk again I had 32 hundredths of a second left to break the record. There's a clip that we actually have. You can see a little bit of it if you want to show the clip. I don't know. Okay.
Okay, let's roll it.
TEDx talk in 1 minute. So I decided I would do that and attempt that now, to do a TEDx talk in 1 minute. But I wanted to do this to show you that you could use the 7 world record mindsets to accomplish anything. But first I have to tell you the 7th mindset, which is never be afraid to ask for what you want in life. So I'm going to attempt this record. I obviously don't know how it's going to work out. And so what I say is, if you think I've done a good job, and I do break the record, then I'd like a standing ovation. But if I don't get one, then just tell everybody you went bowling. Okay? All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to have the clock stopwatch there. I'm going to have my stopwatch. Can you zoom in to show that it's set at 0? Okay, you got it? Okay, great. All right, let's see if we break a world record. Woo! I guess what if everything you want to accomplish in life is up to you? And what if you decide it's only click accomplishments that make you happy? How different would your life be? I believe that we're put in this earth to be happy. There are 6 world record mindsets that can help you do it. I broke 3 world records. My fast talking record was at a radio station, riding comedy, did May Western French. Today the way traffic is. Put over there, I told you I was going to break a record. Call, get it, say, said Shakespeare, the Bible. I chose the Bible. Practice, he that dwells, secret place, the most high. Felt like smoke was coming out of my head. Broke record, doing 603.2 words a minute. Didn't use in the mindset, just say yes and figure it out later. And no such word as can. Then I did a book study on top of Mount Kilimanjaro. After I found an 83-year-old woman that got an airlift up there. It was minus 15 degrees, 45-mile-an-hour winds. And I had to tell my son we're not going to die, even though I thought we were. Use the mindset, nothing is impossible. Be your own best cheerleader. Yay! Told you about bad and mindset, open goal. Then I went to Titanic with the United Nations, and I was 7-foot submersible, 2.5 miles down at the bottom of the sea. I became an ordained minister. Said pray by the wreck, said use the principles. Don't take yourself so seriously and fear nothing, but if you do it anyway. Told you happiness comes from the inside, and find out what your special talent is and let it shine. And bonus, never be afraid to ask for what you want. Finally, I said I tell you my TEDx talk again in 1 minute and try to break a world record, and hopefully I just did.
Oh, that was great. That was great. It's amazing.
Thank you. And the funny thing was they had just heard the whole talk. So they then got to hear it, like the condensed version. But when I had rehearsed it, I always had 2 seconds left.
Right.
So I was like, oh, okay, but now I can't look up the clock to see, but you're rehearsing without a live audience. Because one of the Guinness things is you can't rehearse it in front of people. You have to break the record live. So I couldn't even practice in front of everybody.
Okay.
So here I am, and when I said it, I didn't expect anybody was going to laugh, that they would actually be hearing it.
Listen.
And they laughed, and my brain went, ooh, somebody laughed, and then I went, concentrate! And then I looked up and went 32 hundredths of a second. I was like, because it was so close.
I have to tell you the truth. When you get into a fight with your husband, does he even have a second to get a word?
Well, I said, now that was in a fight, it's over, you lost. And that's it. And he's like, what?
Yeah, that's great. Oh my God. I want to say hello to Susan and Nick Singh, and hello, Michael Jarsky. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And when Fran Capo, she's the world's fastest female talker. And she's an actress, an author, comedian. She's done it all. She holds so many records, and she's training. I mean, how do people find you to know what you're doing? And I want to get into the books the books that you wrote.
Well, the easiest way is to go to my website, francapo.com, and just in case you don't know how to spell, it's Francapo, like head of the mob.
Head of the mob.
Exactly. Come
Capo.
on. We got the Italians
Capo,
here.
okay?
Fran Capo.
That's it.
You can't get more Italian than that. Fran Capo. I guess you could, but not here. But two Italian chicks. What can I say? So francapo.com, and obviously I always post where I'm going to be on Facebook.
Because she's doing a one-woman show called Love, Laughter, and Light, and
the next one,
it's about an hour to an hour and a half.
Right. This weekend it's going to be an hour, because I do sometimes an hour and a half. And
Sunday?
It's Sunday, March 8th, and this is on my website. It has a list of it, but it's at 530 High Mountain Road, KG Divine Spiritual Spa. That's where it's at, in Halladin, New Jersey. And
it's in Jersey.
It's in Jersey. Sunday, March 8th at 2 p.m. I'm also doing stand-up this weekend. I'll be at
where are you doing stand-up this weekend?
The Comedy Cabaret in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. One of my favorite bookers, Andy Scarpati. I love him.
Andy Scarpati, another nice Italian
I tell
boy.
you, only Italians. No, my husband's a Jew. Okay, no.
So's my brother-in-law.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm doing the two shows, Friday and Saturday. Friday at 9 o'clock at the Comedy Cabaret in Doylestown. Saturday 8:30, Comedy Cabaret, and then the one-woman show on Sunday.
That's great.
Yeah, because then I.
When do you sleep?
Yeah, no. It's my mind is always working. That is how I wrote 22 books.
Amazing. And which one was your first baby?
My first baby is actually not here.
Okay, well, we can still talk about it.
Yeah, we could still talk about it. The first book was actually kind of a precursor to this one, was How to Get Yourself on Radio and Television, but now that's been updated.
Yes.
And this is because a lot of people talk about social media, and which is great, but at the same time, a lot of people still want to get, like right now, on television, on radio. And I've done television and radio all over the world, on every continent. Even Antarctica. People, like, who's in Antarctica? The penguins. They would dress very nicely.
Tuxedos.
That's exactly.
Mind you.
Very fancy schmancy, those. And so this basically tells you, how to write the press releases, what the, producers want to hear.
Right.
A lot of times authors don't get asked to be on shows because they think authors are very introspective and that they're not going to make good guests.
Right.
So I talk about in the book how to talk in sound bites, how to play to the cameras, like if you see a camera there, how to play to the cameras.
Camera one, camera two, camera three. Where am I looking?
Yeah. Do I look at you? Am I on air?
Don't look up there. Look up.
Exactly.
Look down there.
Right. Exactly. Oh, but that's where I am. And so it just talks about like how to play the mic if you're doing radio. It just basically goes, with everything like that. And then the humor approach, you would appreciate this, being a stand-up comic yourself, is the companion book to this, because if you're a guest, you don't want to just be a boring guest.
Right.
You have to be entertaining.
Right. Bring me something.
Yeah,
I know Fran always brings me something.
Yeah, right, exactly. You gotta, and then
then New York Myths and Legends.
This is my
I read that.
Yes.
That's the one I read we talked about last time I saw you.
Yes, but this is the updated version.
Okay, I didn't read the updated version.
Right.
But
I'll have to give you one.
But let me tell you something. I really enjoy living in New York. You don't know half the stuff that's around here, people.
Yeah, and this one is, they had asked me, because the first one, luckily, had done so well, they asked me to do a second edition.
The last time I saw you, you were working on it.
Yes,
so
and
cool.
so this is the second one. It's got about, interesting enough, it's got about Typhoid Mary in there.
I know.
And speaking of the coronavirus, if you read the chapter and you find out what they did to her, back then.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah, it's really scary. And so the difference.
And what's based on a true story? Almost a Wise Guy.
Yes, the one
by
right
Fran
at the
Capo.
end, the end over here. Almost a Wise Guy.
Yeah.
Almost a Wise Guy is a comic crime novel based on the life of my dad. And he had one brother, highly decorated police officer, and the other one in
But
the
the other
mob.
way.
In the mob. And so my dad, when he was dying, said, I want you to write a book, you know, about my life. And I'm like, I don't know, Dad, you know. And he goes, don't worry, most of them are dead. I'm like, yeah. But that's still a scary thing. I'm like, they got relatives. And so I was like, all right.
True.
I wrote in the beginning, names have been changed to protect the author.
That's funny. That's great. I love it.
But seriously, I got to tell you what happened. So my dad, you know, I write the book, you know, my dad at that point, and my dad always had a great sense of humor. He had cancer when when I was writing the book, and I'm trying to write it before he died, you know.
Yeah.
And he would go out and buy a chia pet to see his hair would grow back faster. And he would cut the chia pet's hair to see who was winning.
Really?
Yeah, and just so he could win. And he would say things to me like, listen, whatever you do, I don't want you to cremate me and put me in a urinal. I'm like, no, Dad.
Urinal?
I won't even use a dustbuster. You know?
Oh my God.
He just would always get the names of things wrong. But the thing with this book is I lived in Howard Beach at the time.
Yeah.
And there was John Gotti's people around
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So one day, a reporter had done a story on the fact that I wrote Almost a Wise Guy. And I lived right across the street from where, you know, the whole strip mall was. And I'm walking, sitting backwards on the chair, just like out of a typical, you know, movie. Sitting backwards on the chair. And he's going, psst, Capo. So I keep walking by. Psst, Capo. Me, Mr. Gotti? Yeah, you. You wrote a book? Yeah, I wrote a couple of books. Oh, you wrote a book. Anybody in there I know? I don't know who you know. I don't know. You want to do a book signing in the bakery? I go, nah, actually, I don't want anybody to know about the book. Because all I could think was that I'm going to owe this guy for doing a book signing because he sold the book in 5 bagels.
Right.
And he's like, I got a lot of people could buy that book. I go, no, it's really like an underground book. Nobody really knows about it. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, Dad, what are you getting me into? So,
that's great.
So all these books I consciously wrote. And the only book, and I think I might have told you about this once before, about Hopeville. This is the only book, but I'll tell it because in case people hadn't heard the story. It's in book form, and it's also in audio form, which actually I'm turning all my books into audio because a lot of people these days want to listen to,
like
you know, audio. So it's going to be,
Yeah.
everything's going to be MP3. Even this book is already in audio form.
Right.
And I'm redoing my website. Everything will be on my website, but not so just like thrown up there.
Right,
Now
right,
it'll be more modern.
It'll be
but-
nice.
Yeah, it won't be like,
It'll look
this is-
pretty.
yeah, it'll look nice, updated. But this book, it was the only book that came to me. People call it channeled, and I don't know. I think we talked about that. You believe in things like that too. So what happened was 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting there. I mean, no, I wasn't sitting there. I was sleeping. 4 o'clock in the morning, and I hear a voice. You know, get up. You have to write a book. And I'm like, going, this is a really weird dream. And the voice was very persistent, and I can't tell you whether it was a male or female voice.
Right.
And so they're like, get up. And I'm like, so I turn on the light. I don't see anything. Turn off the light, and I hear, get up. So I turn on the light again, and then I still hear the voice.
Right.
Get up. You have to write this book. And I'm like, okay. I know I hear. I don't know if
It's
I'm
like
dreaming.
Fill the Dreams,
It was
right?
like
Build
yeah,
it. They
right,
will
exactly,
come.
exactly. Write it. They will show up. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. They go, write this title down. Hopeville, the City of Light. So as a writer, you know, you always have the pen and paper.
Yeah.
So I write down Hopeville, the City of Light. And then I start arguing with the voice. I go, listen, no offense, but, you know, it's 4 o'clock. I said, I was like, you know.
Can we do this in another 8 hours?
That's exactly what I said. I was like, I gotta take my kid to school, my mom to work. I gotta go to bed. And so the voice goes, you have to write this book. It has a message that will help the world.
Wow.
So I write it down. Next day, get up, take my kid to school, my mom to work. I have to get my car fixed. I bring my laptop. I'm working on my book, which I don't have here, Adrenaline Adventures. I'm going to be starting a new Facebook page, by the way, called Adrenaline Adventures, because I figure there's a lot of junkies like me that love that type of stuff. And I always find out about it, unique adventures, and I love to tell people about it. I also, so anyway, let me get not off the story. So anyway, so now I get up the next day, and I take my laptop, and I'm getting, all ready, and the mechanic's working on my car. I said, I need to stay here, blah, blah, blah. And I've never had writer's block. I mean, look, 22 books in 10 years, never had writer's block. And so I go to type the shark chapter in my Adrenaline Adventures book, and all of a sudden my hands, Theresa, it was the weirdest thing, like they were frozen. And I'm like, how can this be? Like, this is what? So I was like, I can't sit here for 3 hours and not write anything.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what was the title of that book? And I had it in my pocket, and I took it out, and I went, all right, Hope-Filled the City Light. And for the next 3 hours,
Just float out of you.
But no, I don't remember writing one word.
Wow.
I remember writing the end. I remember the guy going, Fran, your car's ready. And I remember,
This is freaky.
and he said to me, he goes, Fran, that's exactly what he goes, that was a little weird. I go, what? He goes, you didn't go to the bathroom, you didn't take a drink of water, you didn't look like you were breathing.
Wow.
And I was like, I think I wrote a book. He goes, how do you not know? I said, I cannot tell you one word in that page. So I left it to finish my other book, and then 3 weeks later I came back. So let me see if this even makes sense. And it was a story about a little boy. I don't know if you read it, but it's a story about a little boy who's always getting bullied, a successful businessman who gives up everything to just be a success, an old man who feels he's like all this knowledge to impart, and a widowed woman who's holding down 3 jobs, and they're each praying like, oh gosh, God, it's really hard. And an angel of light comes to them and tells them what they have to do to change their lives.
Right.
Each thinking, I'm just a little boy, I can't do it, just a mother. But they each do it, and there's a whole transformation, and in their transformation, they transform the town, but it's a lot of ups and downs. And so when I read it, like a couple of weeks later, I'm like, wow, this is a detailed story. I don't remember any of this. And then I looked at it and I said, it contains the 44 secrets of happiness.
Wow.
So I didn't change the story, but I pulled out the 44 secrets, and I have them at the
Right.
end, and schools use it to teach
Wow,
kids,
that's
because
great.
it's like there's a lesson plan at the
Yeah.
back, and it's all about, all lessons that are
Wow.
just so useful in
And
today's
you know what?
world.
We all need a good lesson. But
Yeah.
you know what? We're going to take a quick break from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Today's show is brought to you in part by Tavolo Kitchen and Pizza, located at 1919 Wantaw Avenue in Wantaw. Hey, there's something for every night of the week. Tuesdays, pasta night. Wine Wednesdays. Friday, live music from 7 to 10. Sunday, brunch. So check them out at 516-308-4892 or www.tavolokitchen.com. They're also on Instagram. They do catering and private parties. So where do you want to go tonight?
Why don't we go to Coasters?
Oh, cool. I heard it's a great place. Let's check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Oh my God. Hey, I want to thank my sponsors personally, Tavolo Kitchen in Wantaw. Make sure you go in there, tell them Tea Time sent you or Theresa sent you. And, of course, Coasters Tavern. Coasters Tavern is located on New Bridge Road in East Meadow. And they're having a lot of things coming up between karaoke and Islander games and St. Patty's Day and Jen the bartender's birthday. So you could go on their website, check out what their schedule is too. But I want to personally thank them for sponsoring my show. If you know anyone with a business who wants to advertise on my show and sponsor my show, let me know. It's very inexpensive and it's a lot of fun. All right, so I'm back with Fran.
Yes.
Fran, I love her to death. She exhausts me. I don't say much about Fran. I think she's the only one who out-talks me because I swear
Because
to
I
God.
talk fast? No.
No, it's not that you talk fast, but you and I are both talkers.
Right, no, we
and
are.
We don't shut up. We really don't.
I know.
We-
Good thing our husbands aren't here.
No, thank God,
The
it's
ears
true.
would be bleeding. Yeah.
But I want to thank you personally for being my
you.
friend, for coming on my show. I know you're just such a closer, touch the mic, sorry. But you're such a warm, loving, giving person, and I
you.
appreciate that. I'm humble and just so sweet.
Oh, but you know,
Really.
I love coming on your show, and you guys know what she's doing. She's working on so many things herself.
I'm trying.
And doing fantastic. You're doing acting roles.
Thank you.
Right, the Bat Boy.
Yeah, I'm doing
right?
Bat Boy. I've got an independent film.
And you got that, what's it?
Italian Chicks.
Italian Chicks.
Italian Chicks.
Italian Chicks.
And
Not
she's
not
gonna-
us, but
Marianne,
Italian
she's
Chicks.
going to try to come to a show. Yeah.
That's it. Yes, Marianne.
Yeah.
Marianne.
Marianne, boom, boom.
I'll be in the show. I'll be there cheering you people on.
So listen, we have about 10 more minutes, and I wanted to ask you some things.
Sure.
I asked you your first book. I asked you how people find you. Let's talk about when you first realized how fast you actually can talk.
So the way that I did it was I was working at a radio station, WBLS FM in New York.
Yes.
And I was writing comedy for them. And kidding around one day, I said, I could do a really cool Mae West impression, but I called the character Junice, Mae West's long-lost sister.
I love this story.
So all of a
I love
sudden,
this story.
the DJ flings the weather and traffic copy at me. And in radio, when the little red tally light comes on, you got to start talking.
Oh, yeah.
So I see the thing, and I'm like, today the weather and traffic is... And in the 30 seconds I happened to do it, a lady from the Daily News calls.
I
And
love
she's
this
like,
story.
she goes, I'm doing a story on weather and traffic people. How long you been doing it? I'm like, I've been doing it a while. Yeah, I don't want to tell her 30 seconds. So she said, well, what are you planning on doing next? I didn't have a next, but I had a lady from the Daily News. So I said, I'm thinking of breaking a world record. And she's like, for what? And I'm like, I didn't have a for what. So I can't tell you, it's going to jinx it. So I run out and buy a Guinness book, and I start looking through it like, what record can I? And I see fast talking. I'm like, I always talk fast. And she told me her article had to go in at 6 o'clock. It was like 5 to 6. I had to go on stage. And so I called up real quick. All right, I'll tell you, I'm thinking of breaking the record for fast talking. She goes, what's the record at? I'm reading it. 552 words a minute. She goes, what are you at? I went, 550. Those last 2 words are a killer. So she prints it in the paper. And the very next day, the Larry King Live people call me up and ask me to go on the show and break the record. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't know who Larry King was at that time.
Okay, all right.
So I hear cable, and I went, is this some kind of porn? And they're like, honey, no, this is a national show. I said, what if I don't break the record? They go, Larry doesn't care whether you break it or not, just cares that you try it on his show first. So they had a limo pick me up.
You didn't do the Mae West at all, though. You didn't do the Mae West with Larry King at all.
No, I was, now he
Okay.
wanted me to come on the show and break this record that I claimed I was going to break. So I'm calling Guinness, what do you have to do? Something from Shakespeare, the Bible. Me and Shakespeare never got along. I had a prayer from the Bible. I'm practicing just as the limo's coming to my house. He doesn't see something like smoke's coming out of my head. And I go to the station, and I broke the record, doing 585 words a minute, and then I rebroke it at the Guinness Museum in Vegas, so it's 603.32 words a minute, which is 11 words a second. And that's how I got into the Guinness book.
Wow.
Which is one of the things I talk about in the TEDx talk about, just say yes and figure it out later. And,
It's amazing.
and no such word
it's
as
an
can't.
amazing story.
Because,
it's an amazing story. Think about it. Just think about it, people. Just for a second. It's an amazing story.
Yeah, because, first of all, the lady from the Daily News calling, out of the blue, on the very 30 seconds I'm doing
There
that
are
thing.
no coincidences.
That's always how I say it.
There aren't any.
And so that's why I love doing motivational speaking around the world, because I tell these stories of things that people think, I'm just a regular mom. That's how I look at it.
Right.
I'm just a regular mom.
Yes.
And I do these things, and I'm like, if I could do it, you could do it. And then I show them the way to work through it and do it. So I've spoken for Pfizer, for Miller Coors, for Auntie Anne's Pretzels, and then but I'm a humorous motivational speaker.
Right.
So it's not
Right.
like the
They're
typical,
not falling-
here's my
they're not
chart.
falling asleep when they watch you.
They're not going, when's lunch?
Right,
And so
right.
that's the thing I love. Like April 18th for SUNY Sullivan, which is in Sullivan County in New York, I'm the keynote at the Women's Conference. And they had me there years ago, and they wanted to bring me back. And I love doing it because not only are there going to be obviously women, it's a women's conference, but there's a lot of college kids there too. And I love motivating the college kids. They're the ones actually who love the TEDx talks. So a lot of them know me from the TEDx talks. And by the way, people, I want it to go viral. Click on it, even if you don't watch the whole thing. Click like and send it to people. But that is what I love doing, is speaking for these corporations and colleges and fundraisers around the world, because you can't climb a mountain. So that's when people, like people always go, you could do anything you set your mind to. That's why I climbed the mountain. Could go, you could climb the mountain. I actually climbed a mountain.
Right.
You could run a marathon. I ran a marathon.
Right, you're putting your money where your mouth is.
And
you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk.
And a lot of times I see that people say, you could do it, and I'm thinking, did they do any of these things?
Right.
And they don't.
Right.
And I'm like, you can't, the way
you
I
can't
believe
always be on the sidelines.
Yeah, you have to just, like dance, you have to be in it.
Right.
And I just feel like you live life to the absolute fullest. God gave you a life, and you want to be able to look at him and go, I used up every bit of it.
Right.
And that's the way that I like to live my life. And my poor son, he's saying, Spence, guess what we're going to do? We're going to climb Kilimanjaro. Mommy, I don't even like to walk. That's besides the point. Everything. And he's like, now what are we doing? This weekend I go, I'm training for Vietnam. And he goes, keywords, you're training for Vietnam. I go, no, you're my son. You need to walk up this hill with me. So
funny.
he's like, all right. And he says, you want me to carry a knapsack? No, I'll carry the knapsack. I have to do the 15 pounds. The people in my neighborhood think I'm running away from home. They go, where are you going with the knapsack? I go, I'm training for Vietnam. They go, from Vietnam? What the heck are you doing?
Oh, it's too funny. My cheeks hurt.
I love that.
It's too funny. It's just too funny. No, because you know as well as I do, I'm the type of person where, like you, I say yes, and then I worry about it. Because because it's so easy to say no.
Yes,
but it's so hard to say yes. And then once you say yes, then just tackle it. People, you want to do this? Yeah, sure. And then I was like, okay, what do I have to do?
Yeah, and that's what I say, because actually I don't worry about it when I say yes.
I don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, right, but you think about it.
Yeah,
that's different. You plan how to do it.
Ponder on it.
Because the thing is, like I have a saying, fear nothing, but if you do it anyway. Because you could fear something. Like some people go, oh, I've always wanted to go skydiving, let's just say. Right. And then I always wanted to do it. And every time you talk, I always wanted to do it. I go, listen, you've been worrying about it for 5 years.
How much are you going to talk about it?
Just do it already.
Right.
Because even if you're scared, you do it that once and then it's over.
Right.
But if you keep saying you want to do it for 5 years, you're worrying about it.
I know. That's why you have to take the bull by the horns and just do it. Like
Exactly.
I say, I got a bucket list. And there's a couple of things I've crossed off on it, but there's a lot that is still on there that I want to do, and a lot of it has to do with traveling. Like I want to go, and I've never been to like Italy, Greece, Spain.
So just plan one, not Italy now, because we can't go right now.
But just maybe like something every year, just to do something.
That's what I always say. Like people say, God, you always have like this enthusiasm, and I say, as long as you always have something to look forward to,
right?
You'll always have an enthusiasm. Because I swear, sometimes you meet people and you go, so what's new? And they go, nothing, and they mean it. And I'm like, but you did nothing. Like I haven't seen you in a year. Did you go to a movie? Something?
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Not even a movie?
Yeah. Life's too short.
I'm like,
life's too short.
You people, even if you believe in reincarnation, you don't remember it anyway, so what's the difference? So if you come back and you're like, I don't know what happened, so you might as well live this life to the fullest.
Right.
Yeah. And that's always just, I was lucky my mom taught me nothing is impossible, and my dad taught me to always find the humor in life.
Right.
So if I do something
and those
and it
are
works,
two great life lessons.
Yeah. If I do something and it works, it becomes part of motivational speaking. If it doesn't, it becomes part of stand-up comedy.
Exactly.
So either way, I get to use it.
It's going to be funny.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Listen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, watching, listening.
Thank you.
Again, Fran Capo, my friend, love you so much for coming in. You know you're welcome here anytime you want. And find Fran on francapo.com.
That's right. And if you're not doing anything this weekend, Friday and Saturday, Doylestown Comedy Cabaret, and Sunday at the, I got to get the name right, at the KG Divine Spiritual Spa in Haledon, New Jersey. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. I'm doing my Love, Laughter,
in the house.
and Life.
Listen, thank you everyone for tuning in. I will not be here next week. I will be performing at Dangerfields for LMAO. Laugh my ass off. And but I will be back the following week. Love you all. Ciao.
Bye bye. That was fun.